Make sure to check out my Patreon for exclusive videos never before seen on YouTube. And don't forget to also check out the memberships on my channel page to join and gain access to perks and see videos early. Make sure to click the subscribe button and hit the bell and be notified of new videos. All the support goes to the production of the channel for better content. Now let's get into the video. What's going on, you guys? Major Dragon here, and today is a brand new series. Today is going to be What If Raditz Turned Good? I have seen some people request this, and I've been really excited to actually dive into it and see what I could come up with. And I got a really good story fleshed out. So if you guys want to see this series go completely through, make sure to like the video. If this video gets to 250 likes, I shall continue to the next part, and hopefully we can make it to the end of the series on this one. You guys don't want to miss this series out. Thank you all for the support. I really do appreciate it. One more thing before we dive into it. I have updated my memberships. I've now added a new tier, and I've also changed the name. So if you guys might have seen on my community page, I did post about it, but for some of you guys that have not, I have now 3 tier lists. The first one is $1.99 and it's a major and Dragon Force member. This is for people, obviously, I understand that times are tough. So if you can't afford it, you can always get this one. You'll have access to all the exclusive content that I've uploaded for members only. Now, of course, there's the other one called Dragon Force Elite and Dragon Force Super Elite with their own perks and etc. So if you guys want to come be a member, please come join. You guys don't want to miss out on the new video that I just did for Goku versus Yujiro Hanma, who would actually win with detailed statistics and proven numbers to see why the fight would not even be a close battle. But anyway, thank y'all for the support. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Raditz was now about to take off to go to planet Earth, as he knows that he has a younger brother. But now before this would happen, Vegeta and Nappa was always picking on him, always beating him up here and there, calling him a low class, and always making fun of him. But now Raditz believes that maybe with him and his brother, they might be able to overthrow the Saiyans, and maybe make Vegeta and Nappa shut up. But Raditz didn't want to live like this anymore. True, he was a Saiyan, and he was proud of his heritage, he was proud of his life, but he didn't want to be forced to sit there and take over planets and hurt innocent people. That's not something he didn't want to do, but he didn't have a choice. He had to act tough and he had to act strong. Raditz would then arrive on Earth, as his mission was different this time. He would still meet Piccolo Jr. first, but right before then he would spare the Namekian, but I feel like they would have a small little battle, but Raditz would easily have won. Now Raditz would have actually spared the farmer with the shotgun as well, because he was far too powerful for him, so Raditz dodged that bullet a lot. Raditz would still find his brother at Kami's house. Now, here, this is where the story of Dragon Ball is going to change forever. Raditz does not kidnap Gohan here, and Raditz does not attack Goku. Raditz would tell who he is, and say what he's actually supposed to do on Earth, but before he does any of this, he would turn his scouter off, so that way that Vegeta and Nappa cannot hear what he's going to say. Goku was skeptical, as he doesn't know who this man is, but he sees he does have a tail. Raditz would kind of get a bit mad that his tail was gone, and state that you kind of ruined your Saiyan power, but he would let that slide. He would explain who he is, and that he's Goku's brother. And he would explain who, of course, Vegeta and Nappa is, who they work for, and what they do. This is when Goku would get into a stance, as he thinks that they're there to take over the planet, and he says that's what you're here to do. But Raditz would state, no, I want to do something different this time. As Raditz would explain his struggles with him being abused by them basically and used as a puppet. He doesn't want to be that way no more. And he just he's thinking about just running away. But Goku state, well, if those guys are thinking about coming to Earth, maybe I can help you get stronger. We can get stronger together. Now Raditz thinks that how are we going to be able to top Vegeta and Nappa? There's no way. But Goku state that where there's a will, there's a way. We can always grow stronger and defeat this opponent. Raditz would think about it, and he would agree. Now, of course, just to prove that he's not conning or being evil, he would actually hand his scouter over to Bulma. And Bulma was really excited to have a scouter and a space pod to look at too. But unbeknownst to Bulma, she accidentally turned it back on while they were discussing about the Dragon Balls and what they are as well, that maybe they can help them find a strong teacher. Well, Vegeta and Nappa heard about this, and now they're going to beeline straight towards Earth, so the timeline is still the same with them arriving soon. Within 1 year's time, they're going to arrive to Earth to see if they can find these Dragon Balls. Now, Raditz would be hearing it from Bulma, as Bulma would hear back and forth from Vegeta and Nappa that they're planning on heading to Earth. So now the Z Fighters know that the Saiyans are coming this way. Well, Goku would state that there is a few options. They can go ask Kami for assistance. He's the god of Earth. They would both arrive, as Kami does sense some evil in Raditz's heart, but he knows that most of it is covered up by the good, and he is doing good purpose. His motives are good. So Kami does offer the hyperbolic time chamber, but as well, it's not prepped. But Kami does have another idea. He does know of a being that has information of a great teacher. Now, Kami does know about King Yama. He does know about the afterlife. He does know about it. And Kami can teleport there as he has before, shown when he took Goku from Earth all the way there, and of course back forth. They would then agree, and him and Raditz would then go off with Kami to go find this teacher. Now, as for Piccolo, I believe, would he train Gohan? I'm going to say no. The reason for this is because Piccolo never saw Gohan's true power, so they don't know that Gohan has a hidden strength within him. So because of this, Gohan would never be trained. He would be back home with Chi-Chi. So that would happen the same. So sadly, there's no cool Gohan training with Piccolo. They don't really have that connection, and Piccolo is still a bit cold-hearted and still evil, but he knows that there's bigger fish to fry. This would also give Piccolo more time to focus on training as well. So you could argue that Piccolo might be a bit more powerful. As we know, Piccolo's power level was roughly around 3,000. You could say 2,000. It could be 1,000 higher by the end of the show, but we'll talk about that later. Goku and Raditz would meet King Yama, who was massive in size, and King Yama would then tell them that there is somebody, but they would have to run the Snake Way. I don't think they'll be able to survive it, but Goku and Raditz have to try. Now, of course, they would begin running Snake Way. Now, Raditz is not preferring to run. He could just fly there way faster than Goku can. So they have an idea. So Raditz would just hold Goku as they would then fly. He would just hold him by the arms as he dangles in the air, as Raditz can fly insanely fast. So they would fly past Snake Way far faster than they did in the original. We do know that it took Goku months to pass Snake Way. But because I do feel like it's Raditz and flying is a lot faster than just simple running and jogging, definitely they would arrive there a lot quicker. You could argue that it could take them a few weeks, probably of flying, to arrive rather than a few months, because Raditz's flight speed is broken in the show. But no one really dives into that. They were both exhausted as they would then arrive. As they would look up to see a small planet, they would again both jump as they were happy to finally see something. But now Goku would instantly faceplant to the ground as Raditz would land pretty lightly. As Goku was struggling to even stand up, Raditz was confused as he was perfectly fine. Raditz would then get it, as he was on planet Earth the whole time. He's not used to 10 times gravity, as that's the power of their home world. So they would then see a monkey walking around, as Goku thinks that maybe this is King Kai. Raditz doesn't really think so. That would be stupid that there's a monkey. Goku would try to follow it around, struggling to walk, until they would then turn and see King Kai. King Kai knows who Raditz is. He's been around his section of the universe, and he basically knows who Goku is. And he knows that they were coming via, of course, Kami, and he communicated back and forth. So he was waiting for them, and both of them would greet King Kai, and they asked to be trained to fight the Saiyans. King Kai would agree if both of them can give him a funny joke. Raditz is not much of a joke guy, so there's not much that he can really do for a joke, but Goku thinks of something and says something silly, but it makes King Kai burst out into tears of laughter, so he agrees to train them. King Kai is not truly trustworthy of Raditz, as he can sense that he does have a tainted heart, but at the same time, maybe he cannot learn that ability, but maybe Son Goku can. But with their determination, they should be able to get a lot more powerful. So, we are now going to time skip over 1 year. So, Vegeta and Nappa would still arrive on Earth the same as before, and they would still begin fighting. But now what's different here is you could argue that Goku and Raditz would get there potentially on time, as they're not in much of a tight hunch to get there. Because Goku just finished his training and then he left. Goku only trained with King Kai for a few months. Goku and Raditz has had almost a whole year to train. And it's two people training together, which is far better than just a solo train. Goku and Raditz would quickly arrive, so this means that you might argue that potentially a few of the Z Fighters might have died because they would have spawned the Cybermen to make some fun. As Goku and Raditz got there quickly, but the Cybermen still killed Yamcha and Chaozu. But Tien and the others were still alive, barely. So, Goku and Raditz would begin their battle. Raditz would want to go up first, as he wants to fight Nappa. Raditz would easily dispatch Nappa and break his back during their fight, as he wouldn't even need to use KAIO-KEN to defeat him. Now Vegeta was shocked, and Vegeta would state that he must have gotten a lot more powerful since then, as Raditz would then tell Son Goku that this is his fight and he wants to fight Vegeta on his own. Goku's kind of let down, he really wanted to fight Vegeta, but he understands and he'll let him sit back. But now, of course, Raditz versus Vegeta. The two would begin powering up as Vegeta's scouter would then go off, as Raditz's base power level was scaring Vegeta. Now, as we know, Goku roughly got 18 times stronger from the King Kai training. Now, of course, Goku, training with Raditz on top of this, Goku would have a power level of around 8,000. You could times that by 2 because this is the second time he's training with somebody else, and this would let him have a power level of around, you could argue, around 16,000. Remember, he can also stack KAIO-KEN on top of this, but you could argue it's even higher. I'm going to even it out. He has a power level of 20,000 with the added KAIO-KEN. As for Raditz, Raditz, of course, has a power level of 1,500. With King Kai training, you could say around 18 times stronger. He has a power level of around 27,000, almost 30,000. So Raditz is very powerful, and Goku's not far behind. So Raditz would easily overpower Vegeta in their fight, far worse than what KAIO-KEN Goku did. Now Vegeta was furious, as he would jump up in the air and charge a Gallic gun to kill Raditz. Raditz would have shot his own double Sunday attack, and that would have blown Vegeta's attack back, severely damaging him. As Vegeta knows that he can't spawn a moon because of the fact that, well, of course, Raditz would just turn into it as well. Now the moon is still here. As Piccolo never destroyed the moon, you could have a cool little arc to where Piccolo maybe saw a giant great ape rampaging around and maybe he heard it from Raditz, but other than that, nah, that wouldn't work out. So yeah, the moon is still on Earth, so Vegeta would never want to turn into it anyway because Raditz can do it as well, and he's far more powerful than he is. So with Vegeta running out of options, he would still not give up, he would still continue to try and attack Raditz, but Raditz would have easily dispatched Vegeta. And Vegeta would have no choice, as Raditz was about to kill him. Goku would then let him go. Raditz would then agree and drop Vegeta, as he would get in his space pod and then fly away. Raditz knows that Vegeta is going to be heading right back towards Frieza. As Goku would explain more about Frieza, he already knows a little bit about him, since Raditz would talk about it. And he states that maybe they should go try stopping Frieza. But Raditz states that there's no way we can defeat Frieza. Even though we're this powerful, there's no chance. But now because of this though, Vegeta and Nappa didn't necessarily hear about the Dragon Balls from the Saiyan saga. Now, what if Frieza heard it from maybe Raditz hearing it from Goku and Vegeta in the original? Yes and no. You could argue that Frieza would have heard about it and then he would have went to Namek. But in this what if, I believe that Frieza wouldn't have necessarily heard it. Until later on, we'll get into this later. Now, since Vegeta left, Vegeta would then have arrived on Frieza's ship, as he would have actually talked about, from of course Doria and Zarbon pressing him, and Frieza wanted an update of why he failed, as he would have heard about it, and why he was so gravely injured. And would Vegeta tell him about the magical wishing orbs? I don't believe so, but Frieza already knows something about it, so Frieza would tell him to explain more about these mystical orbs. Vegeta would then explain, as this would pique his interest. And they're on planet Earth, is that correct? Now, you could argue that Frieza would go to planet Namek, but for what if purposes, he knows they're on planet Earth and he wants to go there and see them for himself. He can wish for immortality. So, now that Frieza knows, he's now going to start heading towards Earth. Now, this could take him over a year to arrive as he's far away. Now, would Goku and Raditz hear about it? Yes. Raditz still has his space pod, and he still has his scouter. And Bulma has mixed up the communications so she can hear everything that's happening in the universe, of course, with Frieza's forced communications, at her Capsule Corporation. So she would tell Goku and Raditz about it. Raditz would probably want to live up with Goku. Now, you could argue that maybe he might stay at Capsule Corp too, so he can train there. Potentially, you could argue that Raditz would also know about a gravity machine and bring that update to Bulma. So maybe Goku and Raditz would start training at Capsule Corp, or they would have their own machine at Goku's house, and they would continue training together. Now that Raditz and Goku know that Frieza is going to be coming, they definitely need to be more ready than ever. Now, Kami would also help out, as he would explain that soon they will also get the Room of Spirit and Time together so they can truly push their potential. And that is it for this What If, you guys. Thank y'all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, guys, let's get to 20,000 subscribers, and I'll talk to you all later.